InflaRx is about research in complement and bringing discoveries in the complement field to the market. That means the company was founded around the research that the two founders have done together at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and around a core protein called C5a. It's a small activation protein in our blood that is a very strong booster of inflammation. And many groups in the world have researched it. It's a very interesting target for a drug to address it. This was the core of why we started InflaRx, really, to develop a drug, in this case monoclonal antibodies, that can target this small protein and really inhibit it such that we can prevent the strong inflammation. InflaRx has just recently done the US NASDAQ listing in November 2017. We really were able to attract a lot of capital into the company, and that puts us in a very nice position here because we're currently running global phase 2b studies. I have just recently press released that we have completed enrollment in our landing indication, hidradenitis suppurativa. So right now we are very strongly financed, and our current strategy is really to bring this product IFX-1 really forward and eventually to the market. Now, that doesn't exclude that we may seek a partner for commercialization at this stage, but it also doesn't exclude that we may look into commercializing it ourselves. So when it comes to the lead asset, that's our real strategy. And also for the follow-on assets, we really believe that we are in the right position to bring them forward. So right now, partnering is not on the top of our list of thoughts, but having said that, we don't exclude it either. I mentioned earlier that Influx is founded on the basis of our knowledge in the complement space. And then Renfeng Guo, the other founder, and myself, we have a lot of in-house knowledge in the meantime established around complement research. So as we're progressing with IFX-1 towards potentially phase 3 studies in the coming years, we're also progressing additional other pipeline assets. Not all of them have been made public. IFX-2 is a follow-on kind of, if you will, life cycle kind of approach to IFX-1 based on the same technology. So we have found a very unique niche in the market, which is that no other company right now has a running C5a program in the world. You know that there's many C5 companies with the big leader in the market, Alexion Pharmaceuticals. But we're not there. We're in a very special niche, and that allows us, because it's such a central core mechanism in inflammation, to build a pipeline around this product. So right now, the efforts of the company really are focused towards what types of different markets, of different indications can we address with our core technology. So if you will, we're more building a pipeline around the product rather than a big pipeline of new products. Having said that, we have a few, of course, that we're working on. So there's a very specific, distinct difference to what we are right now addressing when you compare us to other players in the chronic or acute inflammatory space. So a lot of the successful drugs that are out there in the chronic inflammatory disease areas are really focusing on the T-cell response. You know, these are drugs addressing interleukins in cytokines like IL-23, IL-17, TNF-alpha. These are all famous examples, but all of them are kind of working on the T-cell side, so on the adaptive side of our immune response. Now, we believe that a lot of the chronic and, of course, the acute inflammatory diseases are, if you think of a chronic disease when you have a flare phase, are driven by an acute kind of push of inflammation within the disease. And that's, noted with the diseases that come with flare phases. Now, in these flare phases, it's really neutrophils and other cells and acute innate mechanisms like the complement system that plays a big role. This is where we have our niche. We're probably the first company here in phase 2B that addresses this need to contain neutrophil-driven damage and this boosting of inflammation from the innate side. So if you will, it's a beautiful counter side of the T cells, and it's also a very new proposition of a new mode of action in the market. So obviously, when people think about value and time to market, we're talking about IFX-1, and right now in hidradenitis suppurativa, this devastating skin disease that we're addressing. This is a very large indication, and we've managed to build out the role of complement and the meaning of complement in this disease. We have guided the markets that we're going to have top-line results available first half 2019, and right now we are on track with that. And after that, we're going to have a post-phase 2 meeting with the FDA and maybe other regulatory agencies to determine then the next step towards a phase 3 program and ultimately towards market. So you can expect in 2019 these activities, top-line results, regulatory discussions in terms of what are the appropriate next steps to reach the market. And we're very excited because, again, it's a big market, and it's still a market that we were able to capture from an intellectual property point of view, because so far nobody has looked into complement into this disease, and we really worked out this role.